For all them years, I worked hard to get this, and I'm still locked down.
After serving 26 years behind bars, Carlos was released last month on parole, but now he's under quarantine after testing positive for COVID-19.
Where are the answers? Who's accountable?
All the supplies Carlos now has in his transitional housing he never had behind bars.
They were given one bar of soap, one toilet paper, and that's supposed to last the whole week. And just recently, like the last week of May, is the first time that they actually put the soap dispensers in.
He says social distancing was not even an option in a facility which, according to official reports, runs at about 1.5 times beyond its maximum capacity.
Your bunkmate is right on top of you. You're going to always be around someone. I don't think that it is possible with the amount of men that are in those dorms right now.
Carlos knew several inmates who were feeling sick but were afraid to report to the guards.
I can remember a couple of them saying, "Oh, don't tell me, I'm not doing the report. I don't want to know." It's just sad, because the people that are paid to protect you are the ones that you're afraid to actually go and inform that you're not feeling well.
The mandatory use of PPEs was not enforced until the Avenal State Prison had already become the biggest outbreak among all California facilities.
And it wasn't until the end of April or the beginning of May is when people actually started to take heed and pay attention to what was going on. A lot of staff weren't wearing PPE and they weren't keeping social distance. We watch their example and we do as they do. They're not taking it serious, so we think it's a joke.
On the day he was released, Carlos says he was offered advice on how to avoid an overdose, but nothing about being positive for COVID-19. Michelle Tran is an organizer for Families United to End Life Without Parole. Her husband's serving life at the same facility where Carlos served. She's stepping in to help him.
His parole officer did not even know for sure what to do. We as society could have put something in place for our individuals coming out on parole because they've served so long, but we can't just throw them back into society and say, here you go, when they don't know the basics.
Right groups argue more needs to be done to prevent prison sentences from turning into executions.
Release the elderly over 50 who have underlying health issues.
Having waited for 26 years, Carlos will have to wait for a negative test to reunite with his family. But for those behind bars, they say their health and safety are on the line. It is Tianshan, CGTN, Los Angeles.